Welcome to the next episode of WaterparkRanger's Let's Play Pikmin. In the last episode, we had just come back to the impact site and recovered the positron generator, and we had started growing more Pikmin. Basically, because we need to have a lot more in order to prepare for some of the later days. So, we are going to continue growing our blue Pikmin population, which is expanded to about 81, I think, from initially 19, so that's coming along really well. And we're just going to put away our yellows right now, that way we only grow our blues. No, actually we have a few more blues, I think. It's just we are going to have to wait for the yellows to go back in and then we can take them out. There we go. Yeah, I thought so. That's why we got that there can't be more than 100 Pikmin in the field message last episode. Now, as you probably have noticed, there are a ton of pellet posies around here, but first things first, we're going to get our group flowered up to prepare for basically making a lot more Pikmin. There should be some nectar here, though. There, thank you. Oh, okay. Almost all of 100 got it, except for, like, maybe 1 or 2. There's gotta be just maybe another drop or 2 in there. There we go. What do you know? Perfectly 2 drops. Now that we have a full group of flowers, we can basically go down and take out every single pellet posy in sight. Just about. If there's a chance that we could leave maybe some pellets behind, I might, just for yellows. But I think for the most part, we're just going to randomly pick stuff up. Even if it isn't necessarily our color. It'll increase the population one way or another, so here we go. There's a lot growing on the spiral stumps as well. It's probably just a good idea to get all these pellet posies once you've got a full group. That way you don't have to worry about picking Pikmin while you're growing. You can just focus on bringing them back to the onion. It's just a funny strategy that I prefer. Oh, there's another pellet up there. Yeah, the impact site is sort of like what you'd expect from a challenge mode section in the game. Basically, the challenge mode levels, I know I did a horrible job explaining this last episode, are the same as these areas, but things are modified. In other words, there might not be a wall somewhere, or in other cases there might be a different kind of wall, or maybe there could be an extra jump geyser, or a different enemy, and basically a lot more pellets. So it's sort of like how the impact site is just loaded with pellets. That's basically what a challenge mode level is like. So that might save me the trouble of actually having to show you a challenge mode level. Just remember what the impact site looks like, and that's the challenge mode level. Oh, and there's a near-desert flint beetle. If you throw Pikmin on top of it, it will drop nectar and pellets, and if you throw enough Pikmin on top of it, I think you can even get a 5 pellet to appear. And I've heard that if you throw a ton on it, you can even get 2 5 pellets in total. But we're not that awesome. Yeah, see? It disappears really quickly, so you have to be amazing and basically hit it every single time before it runs again. There are 3 iridescent flint beetles around this area, and there's one kind of in those flowers to the right in front of us right here, and that's the one that we woke up right now. There's another one that was on the cardboard box once you enter the area where the main engine was initially located, and we woke up that one last episode. And the last one is on the other side of the cardboard box, and it'll appear once you brush against this big leaf. There we go. That's quite a few blue Pikmin, so it might be nice to get some more yellows now, I think. Because we have plenty of reds as far as I'm concerned. Maybe we'll get some more reds later, but for now, yellows. I just don't think we'll have the time to also grow reds today. Though I know there should be another big 20 yellow pellet around here somewhere. Yeah, I think it's somewhere back here. We're also going to need to get these yellow Pikmin flowered at some point. There we go. There's some nectar, so that's very helpful. Yeah, also yellows aren't the best for fighting flint beetles, because they have a larger throw arc, so it will take them longer time to fall on top of the flint beetle, essentially. I love the word essentially. I listened to my recording from last episode briefly, and I said essentially a ton. Essentially, basically, I love adverbs. Only I hate grammar. Go figure. Now let's see. I might as well just wake it up to show you. Yeah, see? You brush against that leaf, and there it goes. Flint beetles can't hurt your Pikmin. They're just one of those enemies in the game that are not really enemies, they're just like creatures. They're interesting. Not every single enemy has to kill you. In fact, I'm quite happy that none of them. None of them, no. That's far from the truth. That not all of them are vicious. It's a nice change of pace to sometimes have just a creature that's just there. Doesn't happen very often. Here we go. I guess about 85 is pretty much all we need for the rest of the game. I can't see any reason why we would need to increase our yellow Pikmin population any more than it already has. And now we should probably start looking for some nectar wherever that could be found. Most of the patches are basically around where the onions have landed. Basically, again. There's a nice drop. If you swarm your Pikmin well, around a single drop, then you can get quite a lot of them to use the same drop. So it's just a useful strategy. I was really impressed that I was able to get 98 Pikmin to drink one drop with the blues earlier this episode. I guess once again, that's just something that they improved in too. You're able to make Pikmin drink nectar a little bit more easily. Just tiny little touches that can be difficult to notice unless you've really extensively played the first game, I guess you could say. I think that's all. Yeah, there we go. We should probably make sure that all our reds that we can instantly access are flowered as well. We have 10 seconds, we can manage. Now that I think of it, most of the impact site is technically the landing area. So it's got to be kind of difficult to leave Pikmin behind in this area. Well, not necessarily difficult, but there's less of a chance that it will happen. Come on. Yeah, there are a couple buds. We can't have that. This is unacceptable. This is my new favorite Olimar line. I never knew he said that until recently. There we go. All is good, and the day is over. That was very successful, I'd say. A lot of people say this is not necessarily an exciting day to watch because there's really only one part, and so the rest is basically growing Pikmin. But I think it's nice. It's a nice change of pace, especially if you're trying to do a speedrun of the game. I know you can technically finish this game in 9 days, so people would probably find it very calming that there's a nice easy day 5 or day 4 or whenever they get here to just grow Pikmin and prepare for the days ahead. Also, they show a spotty Bulborb, but there are no Bulborbs in this area. They just had to have something chase after the Pikmin at night here, I guess. 5 days since impact. I've managed to increase the range of the Dolphin. Looking from the Dolphin's portal as it launches ever higher into the sky, I see a vast wetland in the deepest parts of the forest. I shall call it the Distant Spring. I can begin my exploration of it tomorrow. For now, I must sleep. Yeah, we can begin it tomorrow, but we won't. Okay, and there's our population. Looks like we have more blues and reds. And I personally think blues are the most useful, just because they can cross water. So let's save. Wow, I guess I actually forgot to mention that by having 12 parts, we've opened up a new area. Because now we have 40% of the parts. This new area is called the Distant Spring, that Olimar mentioned. It's a very nice area, it's my favorite. But before that, we're going to go back to the Forest of Hope. So next episode, we are finishing up the Forest of Hope. See you then.